Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I am your host, Corbin, with my co-host, Tate. And today, we've got a spicy project on today for you
Very
guys.
unique.
Very
Haven't seen
fascinating.
anything like this on the XRPL yet to date.
No, this is big. This is major. Yeah.
Indeed.
So today we have on Jeremy from AstralsOnX.
Hey, what's up, guys? Nice to be here, and thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, Jeremy.
Yep.
It's a pleasure for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jeremy, if you don't mind, just giving us a brief overview of yourself and telling us everything about you.
Yeah, awesome. So I am Jeremy Reynolds, the founder and the creator of AstralsOnX. A little bit of background on me is I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, so had a big musical influence on me at an early age. For all the viewers that have been there or heard about the city, it's the birthplace of jazz music. It's a lot of food, it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of partying.
Yeah.
And so it's a different vibe, and so growing up in that environment, you sort of get to the music thing, and I did. I was formerly a musician in an earlier life, but then I also have a long career in tennis coaching as well at the competitive levels. I've gotten a chance to coach at Wimbledon and the U.S. Open and coach top junior players in the world and develop some of them. So, it's just my father was at NASA. He worked at NASA. He was essentially like in charge of the external tank. So he had a big managerial role there, but that kind of got me into the tech thing early too. So I've always had this thing with tech and music, and sports has also been there all my life. And so I'm the type of guy who has like a bunch of different cards in his pocket and has never been truly just focused on one thing altogether, and that's it. But having said that, just done a lot of traveling. I've lived in a lot of countries, so I've gotten a little bit of an experience and perspective on the global mindset and how everything kind of fits together.
That's incredible. Yeah, me personally, I am a very, very big tennis fan. I tend to play often.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sick, man. Yeah, that could be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
but,
no kidding.
Because I get people all the time that in this space, like when I tell them I do tennis coaching, I'm likely down to my last year.
Yeah.
I've been a professional tennis coach for over 24 years.
Holy cow.
So, wow.
Yeah. And so I felt like I laid it all out there, and I'm like, I feel great about what I laid down.
That's
so
great.
I'm actually excited to kind of walk full time into the next chapter, which is kind of what we're talking about today with where we're at with the AstralsOnX project.
It seems to be a huge project, and I'm very curious what inspired you to build on the XRPL, and nonetheless, what is AstralsOnX?
Yeah, that's a great question. Good question about the XRPL. I mean, for me, honestly, I'll just be straight up. I've just done a ton of research on XRP when I first got into crypto, and and there was a small stint in my life where I was actually, again, a man of many hands, but I was in wealth management, private wealth management for about 8 years, and I got to see the inner workings of the banking industry and the bond market and derivatives and all these private banking, European style banking. And that kind of, before I even knew about crypto, I was doing that. And so then when I got to crypto, I started researching all the cryptos. It just didn't take me long to catch that resonance with XRP. And, so to be blunt, I mean, the fact that it's valued at where it's valued at right now, that's one reason, right? The fact that it's really a strong technology, it's probably the strongest technology that exists, and that's according to, even all the technical people that tend to analyze this stuff for a living. But me, I've looked into it. The transaction fees on Ethereum were just a little too high. You also might feel like you could get into a large space there, and you have one shot maybe, and if it doesn't go perfect, who knows what happens? And you have all this blue chip content, and it could just maybe go the wrong way.
Rumble, yeah.
Then you look at Solana, and it's like, I love Solana. I have Solana NFTs, but I look at our project, and it's like, we got 3.5-minute TV episodes in the mix coming in the future, and like, fully animated like music videos. And I mean, it's scary to think that to launch on a blockchain that might get congested just way too easily or something. So, and then also I feel like that's a real different space as well. I think the XRPL ledger NFT space is starting to really shift to like actual utility instead of just printing 10,000 apes, no offense. And then all of a sudden the community's like, oh, what's next? And then they drop like a token, and then it's like, that's pretty much it. And then you got to hope that, 1 out of 100 of those communities just kind of goes blue chip in the community part of it.
Yeah.
And then that might drive a successful operation. But yeah, I mean, so going back to the XRP Ledger, we just feel like it's the fastest, it's the cheapest to use. It's very customizable. It's easy to build on, and it's the future. And so that's basically where we're at.
Yeah, especially.
And the transactions always go through, which is
a big
spectacular.
Plus. Yeah, a very big plus. Especially
they
with
do.
XLS 20D coming out soon. That's going to provide even more utility than we already know of.
Absolutely. It's unbelievable what they're building out there on the XLS 20. And that's why we're patiently waiting for it. And we don't really have a real need to rush and hurry up and get some cash. I mean, we're not like that. We're in this for decades. I mean, we feel like we're going to be one of the first NFT music record labels on that's out there. Definitely in the top 20. I mean, and so we feel like we have a good chance of actually being ahead of most of the ones that are even out. We've taken a close look at some of the projects on other blockchains, and some of them by really well-known people. And as far as their content goes, it is what it is. It's awesome music and everything, but we feel like conceptually we've kind of looked out further into the future already. So we're already making like fully storyboarded music videos that go with the song. And I mean, sure, other projects are doing that on some level, but we kind of have like already set a standard of like these videos. Each one of these videos might cost anywhere from like $20,000 to $40,000 to produce. So we don't think even the big boys are spending that kind of money even yet either.
Yeah.
And of course, with that kind of production value, we're trying to attack a certain niche in the market and in the future, really, which is the mass adoption of NFT technology, to where the average Joe just has to be plugged in and they can own a record label themselves. They own the Nipsey Hussle song, like one of the last ones ever known that exists. It's off catalog. I mean, there's other artists as well, but the idea was to just give the example that, being able to own commercial grade blue chip musicians and also artists, because we're a two-headed monster. Our project is really two-headed. Sure. It is completely got two big heads on it, and that's the music side and then the art side. And we have, just as the heavy hitters we have on the music side, we have equally heavy hitter on the art side. And so I'm so happy to come on shows like this and be able to speak about it with you guys. But I think I covered most of that last question.
Yeah, you did spectacular on that. I actually have kind of a sort of off the wall question. How do you see potentially, with music and NFTs, with RIA in this whole situation, the recording industry, of the I forget the exact acronym for it, but it's like the conglomeration of like Sony Music and Warner Music and all those big time labels. How do you think they're going to take this?
Well, we know from talking to artists who are signed on big labels that they're in a bit of a panic. They are obviously going to all start their own thing. But the whole thing is that, are they going to give their artists 95% of the mint? I don't think so.
They're greedy. They wouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
And are they going to give the artist, upwards from 70 to 90% of the royalties? Not going to happen.
Absolutely not.
And even if you brought that up to them, they'd laugh at it. They'd be like, absolutely not. Yeah. That's not even a question for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so not even other NFT music labels are even offering those numbers. Maybe close, maybe even right near it. But no, those are aggressive numbers no matter where you look at it. And our whole mantra is free the artist. I mean, we're literally trying to flip the industry on top of itself. And that includes not just the music industry. We want to flip the independent film industry at least, and also flip the art. I mean, there's no need for a talented artist to have an agent anymore, where they pay the agent whatever they pay him. It's like, okay, you can get self-funded. Even if you wanted to do a huge project, right? You wanted to make a blockbuster movie, but you had the talent, but you didn't have the money. Well, you could release some kind of NFT collection, right? And if it's successful, well, there's your money.
There's your capital. Yeah.
You can go make the film. And so then people who purchased your NFT, they're owners of that film. And they're all executive producers, and they're all making a cut, right? And so this is where it's all going. And if it doesn't go there within a year or 2 or 3 years, it doesn't matter to us, because we know it's going there.
Yeah.
So we'll just be here waiting. But in the meantime, we'll just keep producing, the content and trying to educate, I think, is the most important thing with the marketing, is to make it digestible. I keep going back to that, but they have to know what it is. Like walking up to them and saying, oh yeah, buy this. If you buy this, you'll be part owner of a record label. I mean, you gotta break it down simple first, and then maybe go into what that actually means, in terms of all the revenue streams that are there potentially, and how it all works on the back end automatically. Yeah, with the technology.
Yeah, it makes sense. And how did you actually find your partner founders for the project? So like Charles Rattery and Mike Rebel, etc. Like these are some big time names, man. Like some serious heavy hitters in the space.
Gosh, I guess, it's a real simple answers, but I guess the real main point behind it is, if you don't ask, you won't receive. And so
I love that.
So true.
I love that.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And I mean, we don't always have good luck, or, sometimes we get bad streaks and good streaks. But to be honest with you, for one, Charles Rattery came first. And he is just an accomplished artist.
Yeah.
He has worked on everything from Pulp Fiction to Star Wars. I mean, and everything in between. Breaking Bad and Marvel. He's working on a Marvel project as we speak.
Wow. Wow.
Oh yeah, he's done lots of stuff for Marvel. He tells me all about it and how the process goes back and forth. He can't, how they have this like secure login. They have this intranet and all this stuff, and he can't even say. All he can say is like it's like a, what does he say? It's like the Flash. So whatever that was, I think maybe like a TV animated series for TV or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But so how I met him was, and I called up a friend in Los Angeles who is a Los Angeles native, and she is an artist and a jewelry maker herself. I will try to plug her jewelry online shop. It's Egyptia.com. AEGYPTIA. Anyway, she makes custom jewelry. Like, she's an artist. anyways, I've been knowing her for 20 years or longer, and I just picked up the phone. I picked up the phone and I said, "Hey, do you know any good artists in California that I could use and that I could partner with, really?" And she said she just sent me the one guy. It was just one. She just sent me that one guy, and then it was the first guy she sent me was Charles Rattray.
Wow.
And he said yes. I mean, that's
incredible.
And then when it comes to Mike Rebel, a friend of mine who is like a badass fitness trainer in this town, and I've used him before in some of my like with some of my tennis players to train them. He's a buddy of mine. He just walked in my house on a Sunday like, "Hey, let's go, man." And we're going to do something that day. And he was on the phone with somebody. And I was like, who is that who are you on the phone with in my house? And he's this guy, Mike Rebel. And so I just, dude, I just picked up the phone out of the guy's hand and was like, "Who is this, man? What's up?" And then within like minutes, he told me all. He didn't even tell me everything he had. He wasn't even talking about his own music at this point. He was telling me, "Yeah, I can get you Crazy Town, the band Crazy Town." And within minutes, he had the lead singer on the phone within 2 minutes later. Yeah. I didn't know nothing about anything Gucci Mane, French Montana, Nelly, CeeLo. I didn't even know any of that stuff for even another couple of weeks. I told him I wanted him on the team before I even knew any of that stuff. I was like, "Oh, you got music too?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I got these songs with French Montana. They're all like, there's a visual layer on top of them." I'm like, he's sending me all the stuff, and I was like, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, so we're just blessed to be able to get in that position to have. So it was a no-brainer. So I foundered him up, and I foundered Charles up, and then it's me and those guys, and then my brother was also a founder because he was an early creator in the project as well.
Nice.
But essentially, yeah, it's that's how it came. Real simple, but that's how it came.
Everything happens for a reason,
True.
Yeah, it happened easy, so I'm hoping, that was a good reason to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they know about like the power of XRP?
They don't. They're starting to.
Sure.
Like they've heard me go on my passionate rants, Like I feel like I should make a podcast even like just XRP shilling, but in all seriousness, I think that they're starting to get it. Yeah. And but they're super like new to the space as well.
Yeah.
Like even as good as artist Charles is, I'm sitting there telling him, "Oh yeah, now you do the attributes," but it's like, no, but this was a long time ago, but like, he totally gets it now. It's like, it's kind of simple process for him, because of the stuff he's kind of done. And, he's a storyboard concept artist. So he's used to like Marvel Studios, telling him, basically handing him a script, just the words on paper. Wow. And they tell him, draw it. And then so he's drawing attributes and movement and scene to scene. And so it was just a matter of, sitting and explaining to these guys, both on the music side. It was all about explaining, "Oh yeah, we got to give up some of the royalties." Oh, what? But, explaining these simple concepts, that the same things we're going to have to go over with the mass public is like, this is how this stuff works. So
that's incredible.
Yeah. That is incredible. Like I'm kind of speechless. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, literally. Oh, so guys. What is the main source of utility for AstralsOnX? Would you say it is the music and?
We could be on this for like an hour.
Yeah.
So I can run through the utility pretty quickly, and like when we use the word utility, we just feel like it's not just a word that's thrown around. Like, utility. Stake our token and get paid more of the make-believe token. It's like, I'm sorry.
Best in our Ponzi.
No, I don't mean to like rant, because a lot of projects do that, and that's fine. We're doing that, but you got to build behind that token rather than just offer to send it. But the utility number one for the Genesis NFT, which I actually did the art for that. It's a bunch of these really like trippy space scenes, like made with like AI geometry, kind of like algorithms. And yeah, it's a lot of randomized AI, but at the same time, like I totally fooled with each one for like 20 to 30 minutes, to be honest. Manipulating and layering and creating that project. That is the only IOU token we have, and so that will be exchangeable for the NFT when we mint. But that NFT and the token itself now, I guess if you want to look at it, it's an IOU token. That NFT has utility you get holder drops, like a lot. I think you get 10. So we capped it at around 10 holder drops for each artist that we onboard. You get a free mint. So that's a lot of utility in and of itself for the X Astral NFT. There's other utility goes with that. If you hold it, you also get rewarded in our ecosystem token, which I just mentioned. But we're actually going to be designating specific things you can spend that token on, called Aurora, and you're going to get something tangible in return for that token, whether it be an upgraded piece of art or whether it be like access to these one-of-ones. Charles is going to be doing a lot of these one-of-ones where he's going to be doing NFTs that are going to look like they should be hanging on a gallery, but a real, you know what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah.
So he wants, because he's so used to that space. He kind of wants to introduce it into this space. He's down for he's going to do a 10K biker collection called Mayhem Mob. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Going to be absolutely ridiculous.
That's awesome.
It's going to have over 230 something attributes or more. And it's like, he's dropping like a storyline with art. So sometime today, he's dropping the first like story point, is what he calls them, where you look at that piece of art he makes and that's all you get to know about the story right now. And so he's dropping that today. Then he's going right back into the attributes. I just tell him, just keep going, bro. Yeah. But like, he has to juggle between Marvel Studios and this. And
now his
right
own
now
as well.
is a window of time in between. So he's hard at work right now. But yeah, back to the utility. So that's for the X Astral Genesis token. It does have tons of utility. You get free, you're going to get free Aurora by holding it, and you're going to get 10 free airdrops. That right there is pretty much enough utility for that Genesis NFT.
Sure.
Now, moving forward to all the other collections, the music NFTs and all the visual art NFTs, well, the commercial grade ones that are going to be produced by Charles. Okay, so those and the music NFTs from Mike Rebel, those projects are going to be targeting the commercial use intellectual property realm. So one way we're going to be rewarding holders is through any potential intellectual property rights that get assigned. Also, if holders of those collections, they'll get paid a percentage of the secondary sales. They will also get paid the same percentage in streaming revenue. And that's 3 different revenue streams, and that's 3 different utilities, and it's all combined into one. And then on the art side, it'll be similar. It'll be secondary sales. So all the holders will be getting secondary sales payments, and then also there's no streaming, right? But they'll get also any of the IP royalties. So that means, for example, if you really think this thing through, and you saw that Ripple did a excellent article on NFTs and entertainment industry.
Yep.
if you guys want to check that out, I don't know exactly. It's on my timeline somewhere, but it was literally, it might as well have been written by us because they're literally talking about the adoption, where it's going. They did a example of some other well-known artist music label that launched, and they were throwing numbers of what they were selling for and what they were getting in return as far as royalties. And they were talking about this technology and how it's going to change the entertainment media. And it's basically our white paper. So, that's where we see all this stuff going. And as an example, Charles, the artist that we have on the team, for example, with this Mayhem Mob, this is going to be something that we're going to pitch to networks. We see the future where we don't go to the network comes to us.
Yep.
For the last 20 years, Charles had joined a union, do this, do that, and then he has to go and get on a message board and get picked by this, great, that's great. But now we're flipping that upside down to where the networks, they're going to see the Mayhem Mob and be like, yeah, I want to make a TV show out of that. You did my homework for me. Some executive, right? He's going to say, oh, I just found a next show idea. And then they're going to come to us and they're going to cut a deal.
Yeah.
And then 10% of the royalties of that deal are going to go paid back to the holders. So yeah, we're going really far out there into the future, but we think we can get the message across and people will understand.
And it's amazing to play the long game because you should never just be short-sighted with your perspective and your vision towards your project. And majority of XRPL projects are playing the long game. I mean, since we have been for the last 5 years with just everything going on in the whole space,
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. You see it a lot. Where you see these people kind of going through the same cycle of quick, and with the cash grab every time. And with the XRP ledger not being active for NFTs really yet, it kind of had you can kind of see who withered away. Because a lot of people were probably banking on it to be open by now, and if they were going to do something bad, they wouldn't have wanted to wait like a year to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's basically the utility. There's a ton of utility. You're owning a TV network. In the future, and it's not that distant of a future because we've already actually revealed a sneak peek for the pilot episode. It's an animated TV miniseries. So the episodes are like 3.5 minutes long. The episodes they're very high production value again, and they go along with, they're from Mike Rebel's collection. So it goes along on the theme of the superhero character in all of the music videos from Mike Rebel. By the way, he's done a song with an animated video with French Montana, Gucci Mane, T-Pain, Nelly, CeeLo, and Nipsey Hussle. He also has one with Swiss Beats, but we haven't even really talked about that one.
Yeah.
But but those 6 songs are all themed around a central idea, this Mike Rebel hoodbender superhero character. So it's perfect for NFT. I mean, it's cartoon, it's edgy, like it's kind of edgy. Like that pilot episode it's real.
Yeah.
And we think people so far have responded pretty well to it. I think people are a little bit shocked. Oh, that's going to be an NFT. But yeah, I'd be happy to show you guys too. After this podcast, we can go into the spatial metaverse.
That'd be amazing.
And, yes, please.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. I mean, we've had some longtime supporters that were in there. And I was like, yeah, we're going to watch the pilot episode for Mike Rebel's TV animated series. It's not going to drop for a while.
Yeah.
But because we need to make the other episodes, like 4 more episodes. We'll have 1 season, just 4 more episodes. And so people are like, yeah, let's see it. I don't think they were ready, man.
Yeah.
It looks like it's on. It should be. It already looks like it could be on TV already. Also, before that pilot episode was even made, Mike Rebel had an in real life meeting with CBS Network about that TV show. So I'm just trying to put that out there so people can understand, like, this is what we're doing. We're actually trying to do what Bored Ape Yacht Club told everyone they were going to do.
Yeah.
They said there was going to be intellectual property rights, but they were about to make a TV show, and then that dude's ape got stolen. So I don't know what happened. I'm not hating on them. They have incredible success,
Of course.
but we're gonna follow through on that. And we have the connections between Charles and Mike. They're both LA people, and they've been living out there, working out there in that environment. They're 1-2 phone calls away from having meaningful meetings about these things. And of course, just to recap, a second ago, I told you that Mike Rebel already had a meeting about the pilot episode that I'm going to show you guys. It's badass, dude.
That's
CBS
amazing.
wanted to buy it, and
wow.
I think what happened was Mike lost his funding to finish it, and then CBS kind of said, "Oh, wait 6 months," or let's take a look at it in 6 months. And Mike, if you haven't met Mike yet, he doesn't really take bad news that great when it comes to stuff that he's trying to put out. And so he wanted that to pop off, and the funding would have been active still. I think once they shelved him for 6 months or so, the funding was drying up. And so, but thanks, that's like my man over here said a second ago, everything for a reason. Now we own it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so now we're partnered with it. But the main idea I was trying to get across is that when I keep using the word commercial use, and that's what we're really trying to do. We're trying to actually go out and turn the tables on the industry and let them come to us for ideas, for art. They're already doing it to Charles anyways, right? And some of these other artists, like they go to them, they need Charles Rattray to make their movie. Well, now it'll just be differently. Like, you need our all the holders are going to have to say yes too. And then you're going to have to pay us all. And then it could just be 3,000 of us. Could be a 10,000 collection. It could be a 7,000 collection, but they will be the record company, and they will be the TV studio.
That's amazing.
Go.
So what are some things? It's kind of blowing my mind, because this is just like all brand new. This is such unheard of information that I would have never imagined of. And because
I think back to a quote I heard like a little over a year ago, probably 2 years ago, that everything will be on the blockchain.
Yeah.
And it's things like your project, Jeremy, that make me think, wow, why didn't I think that this was going to also be put on the blockchain?
Yeah.
And it's just, dude,
I
don't even have words
at all. Yeah.
All you got to do is basically go through the dictionary and just put your finger down the page and stop, and it'll be like, then put NFT on the back of it.
That's genius.
I mean,
True.
It's just that ultimate form of ownership. And so if you can combine the provenance and ownership verifiably so easily, then that's when the light bulbs start going off. And Ripple's certainly aware. I mean,
without a doubt.
I'm surprised. Hey, if Ripple, if you're out there listening, your article about media and entertainment was basically like a love letter to us. So please reach out.
If Ripple's listening to this, I will be completed.
Did you apply for a grant, Jeremy?
Well, we did apply for the last round of grant, but it was geared totally for the people who are building code on the XRP ledger, dApps and this type of thing. Sure. And we're not doing that yet. Hey, maybe if we got some grant funding, we would.
Yeah.
But and I do believe there will be a round or two of grant funding for like mass adoption creators, like call it whatever they want, blue chip creators, any creators that they like. Doesn't have to be, recognizable names in the industry.
Of course.
That's why I keep referring to our project as blue chip. We're not some $1 trillion company, but our content thanks. Our content though is commercial grade. It's the combined Twitter following of Mike Rebel's featured artist is 30 million. And so we feel like that is blue chip.
Yeah.
But Ripple, if you're listening, we want to talk. No, but maybe they will do a grant for creators, like just for the artists, just for the music, just for the creators, and it'll gear towards that. Hopefully they do that, and we may have a pretty good chance of getting some funding then.
Only time will tell, Jeremy. Only time will tell. So what do you look for whenever you're signing potential artists to the project?
So we kind of have a process where we're looking at artists in two different ways. If they have a lot of talent and we really, really like them, then we'll ask them to be an official curated independent artist. And we have a couple of those right now. There's 3 of them, and there's 3. One of them's a rapper, maybe 2 rappers and an R&B singer.
Oh, nice.
And they'll be dropping 3-track EPs. They want to get all crazy with their art because they see the Mike Rebel collection, and I try to tell them like, hey, that's cool, if you've got a bag for that, but you might not need to go so big, maybe. These Mike Rebel animated videos cost like a lot, and there a lot of production value in it. So I was trying to tell them, hey, you don't have to, but whatever floats your boat, right?
Of course.
And we expect to get some great NFT projects coming out of those. We have Be Wise, JOC, and this guy Nessie, who's just a newer artist that we just signed. So that's what we look for, is people that, if we're going to be like, treat them like a curated, onboarded artist, and then honestly, look, we want to be able to onboard any artist. I mean, as long as they meet a certain standard, like as long as they're able to produce a certain standard of sound, like in terms of, okay, does it sound like it's on your iPhone, like at the beach? Or, you know what I'm saying, right?
Of course,
so yeah. Just stick to SoundCloud.
Well, even SoundCloud, I mean, that you could find some quality sound, but
oh sure,
no, if you yeah, you know what I mean. Like if it has to be a certain standard, but it could be jazz music, it could be any musician out there. If you feel like you've got a little bit of talent or more, yeah, come on over and talk to us in Discord and find out how to start that process, because any artist that we take on to our label, they make, even on the first mint they even do, they take 95% of the profit.
Wow.
And they take 70% of the royalties. So it's basically like, just come on over.
Yeah.
We're not trying to abuse you. We just want to increase our community.
Grow the exposure. Yeah.
We just want people to come over and be in our community, grow the community. We do need that community engagement. I think if anything, that's where we're sort of lacking a little bit. And, partially probably blame myself. I mean, I only have 2 hands and 2 feet, no excuses, 18 hours in my workday, but we just got to keep getting better and stronger at those areas that we feel that we're not as strong at, like the community engagement. We're going to be doing more events in our metaverse spaces where we can actually preview and play all the songs for people. That's been a pretty good hit. We've been doing some poker nights with some other projects and doing some cross chain sort of space calls and cross chain poker events. Not in a rush, but yeah, that's one area that we haven't blown a bunch of money. Like I've got a budget for marketing, but I'm not just going to blow it on a bunch of fake bots talking in the Discord and
there's no reason for that.
I've had offers for everything. I've had, I can get you 20 you blue checked and 30,000 Twitter followers overnight. Yeah, but are they human?
No.
No.
Is there going to be any
No.
engagement? No.
No, that's
We-
the whole
we
thing.
see
It's
that
like, why would
everywhere.
yeah. Because I think if you're a project, not that I condone this, but if you're a project that's looking to make a quick buck, yeah, maybe you go ahead and do that. I don't know. Maybe it's part of the strategy, but I just don't see us doing that to try to do fake hype. Even if the engagement is slowly growing, we're just going to continue to slowly grow it until we do maybe hit like an inflection point, and people see this podcast and they see the next podcast and they see how we are continuing to be reliable and consistent. And then all of a sudden, you could see big spikes, and we're just going to go that route.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times community engagement is kind of tough at first to get the ball rolling, but
Yeah.
as soon as the ball is rolling, it's basically rolling down a mountain, especially once you find your core people that are super passionate and also are in the Discord talking all the time.
Yep.
So, like your mods and stuff, it's really helpful to have them around because, they keep it lively, they keep the hype up, and, can pull for ideas and that kind of thing. It
Yeah.
just makes everything so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that when they're investigating an XRPL project or any project, one of the first things they do is go into the Discord. They want to see if the community is just like a ghost town, and then they want to see what the chat is like. So we do value that, and we've got a couple of good mods in there already, and
Great.
we invest resources to them, so we can keep that up.
Yeah, when I joined your guys' Discord, I was welcomed with open arms.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. You got to join the Mayhem Mob Discord too, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Sounds spicy.
Yeah, I mean this is going to be crazy. I Marvel, like when he turns in his assignments, if you will, then he doesn't know, he's totally off of work at that point. So he can just slam into the art for AstralsOnX for the Mayhem Mob. So he's busy right now doing it this week, and he's about to drop some new stuff. We're just so excited, man. But that's going to be a really badass collection. He's really gone deep into the story. He does not want to draw a single thing. Well, he already has, but he didn't even want to get that deep into the art until he totally flushed out the story. And there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
But I think I'm going to try. I had the idea today to make, this is totally off the cuff right now, but I had the idea today to possibly reach out to that other XRPL project called Editions, who does the publishing. They basically publish like the NFT books or something.
Yeah, we reached out to them as well.
And this dude's coming with a real story behind these bikers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So could be something where, whether if we partner with them or not on some kind of a manuscript or some kind of a script or whatever, of some kind.
Yeah.
We may do that, but yeah, just to give you guys a heads up, you should jump in that Mayhem Mob for sure.
Without a doubt.
Appreciate that, Alpha Man.
Where can we possibly find AstralsOnX? Which marketplaces will it be listed on in the future?
Yeah, so officially right now, we are part of the Syndicate group, which is a group of about 30 or so projects that have committed to launch on the Radical X platform marketplace. That is created by DP Monks Finance. They're based out of London. I think they're like top 15 or top 20 on the gadget.78.uk spreadsheet.
Wow.
I still got to figure out how we even get on there. I know we have a good project. I think you have to apply.
Yeah, I can connect you with the creator of that.
Oh, excellent, dude. Yeah.
He's an awesome guy.
Oh, cool. So that's one marketplace. We're very happy with everything so far, and Daniel is a somebody who is the owner of that platform, and somebody I have I can pick up, I can call him, like, that's pretty big. I mean, imagine being able to pick up the phone and call the founder of OpenSea, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be able to do that with Radical X, and And he's very non-tribal, and he's very unbiased to anyone. You got Gucci Mane and you got this and that. Okay, he treats us the same way he treats any other project. So I think he's a really cool guy. Then we're also planning on distributing and selling on the NFTmaster.com platform marketplace. They're out of Australia. So we're going to have,
wow.
I hope to have many marketplaces, right? Because it's just a matter of attaching that identification number to make sure it's not a fraudulent copy of your collection. And then you can blast it on any marketplace. And both marketplaces, NFTmarketplace.com and Radical X, both are just non-tribal. There's no animosity. So we hope to find a North American marketplace, which we don't have. So we've got the whole world covered already besides North America where we're in. We hope to maybe add one more marketplace or maybe multiple more. But I don't know if we'll just do like a ton of them. I think 3 might be a good number, but who knows? But if we can get Australia, then Europe, and then North America, those 3 columns, we'll have a lot covered there, I think.
Yeah. Also, don't forget about the Asia Pacific region. Singapore and Taiwan and Japan stuff.
No, that's right. Yeah, we actually have a lot of people in our Discord from that region. So
that's a very big region.
I don't know if there's any marketplaces that have emerged from there. I'm sure there's 1 or 2, but we'll have to give that a look and see who's out there building on the XRPL in that region.
Sure, makes sense. And where do you see XRP's ecosystem integrating with NFTs in the future? So obviously, you guys have some serious plans to integrate it. But where else do you see it potentially branching out into?
Well, I do see NFTs branching out next into other, like the housing market, the insurance market, anything with a automated activating contract. You can do so many cool things with these things called hooks.
Yep.
That the developers are building for automated contracts and like if this, then this type of logic. And so I think you're going to be signing your lease, and I think your lease will be an NFT. I think your concert ticket will be an NFT. I think your Airbnb will be an NFT. I think all this stuff will be NFTs. Your car rental agreement. I mean, I just think it's just wow. Think about just the money that will be saved in electricity, and also, well, that's if you use XRP, that is.
Yeah, trees as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to point anybody out, I didn't, but you gotta understand, like, it's eventually, like, I always get that argument where, well, they're first and everybody knows them. But there's nobody in the space yet.
No, not at all. There's barely.
When 300 million Americans figure out what it is, they're not going to want to go somewhere where they have to pay $300 to buy something for $100. They're just not going to do it. It's going to feel like a crime has been committed. I'm not even exaggerating. I've had that happen to me, and it literally feels like a crime.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I sit there, I try to refresh, I try to adjust whatever I need to adjust, and I try to send money off of the wallet, and it wants more money than I got to put more money in. Of course, that costs money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really scary. Yeah. I mean, imagine a newbie, right? I'm sure and the line on the other side is, oh, well, that's what it is. You got to have money to make money.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm going to plug my charger in. But no, I mean, I think no one ever talks about, it's like that. You're right. But once the masses come in, you think they're going to spend $400 to buy something for $100? It's not going to be like normalized to do that.
Not at all.
So I do believe I'm ranting a little.
That's fine.
Valid points. that's where I think the future's going with the technology. Could you imagine, like, you're in a grocery store and you're both buying two people are trying to buy the same steak or something. They're the same quality, but then this brand over here, they need $400 more for that steak. It's like, it just doesn't make logical sense in an adoption error.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So I think people are missing that point when they have that debate. There's only 0.001% of the world that's even into NFTs or something. I don't know what the exact number is. Don't quote me. But it's small.
Very small.
And so once everyone or even half the world is into it.
Just 10% of the world. It doesn't even have to be half the world. Just 10%.
It doesn't have to, it might not ever get, that level, but it might. But even if it's 10%, like you said, people are just, it's just not going to work like that.
Yeah,
like that. It's not going to be like, well,
yeah,
that's the price you have to pay to use this blockchain. But and then you hear other horror stories too. But the future for me is the XRPL. I'm one of these guys who believes that most of the money in the world is going to run through it.
Oh yeah. If you invest in XRP, you more or less know that that's kind of where your mind is set, that majority of the money will start revolving through XRP for transactions and cross-border payments.
Yeah.
It just solves too big of a problem. It totally eliminates the need for pre-funded bank accounts. Like I said, I was in that.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I was in that back room with the asset wealth managers in Switzerland, England. I was sitting in 200-year-old banks. Been in Hong Kong, Lugano, Zurich, Geneva, all over the world, and sitting in these banks talking to these people. And then, during the course of these deals, it's like, yeah, we got to send the money to corresponding bank, and then they have a corresponding bank, and then it gets done it's like, whoa, like there's no corresponding banks anymore.
It's done in a week. Now it can get done in seconds.
A game that they used to play.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna really, really help the entire world, and it's a huge answer to a question. So that no one else really has it's a software.
Yeah.
That's what the public needs to know. They get messed up with the word blockchain
and cryptocurrency.
Just telling it's a software.
Yeah.
And it's just a badass software. And
Absolutely.
It's the most highly advanced software that's out there.
And I love that you've been in the bank sector, because you have your head over shoulders a lot more than just an average Joe. You understand what's going on, and you understand what needs to happen to resolve these problems. And obviously, majority of these people who are getting into crypto and stuff, they're just looking at the top dogs like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they're just going with it because everybody else does. And then they see that XRP and Ripple are in this lawsuit, and that scares them completely because they don't know the real information on this lawsuit,
Yeah.
Not only that, but there's been a coordinated misinformation campaign by the Ethereum people, their main core. It's really crazy. It's unprofessional.
Yeah.
So that's kind of tells you that it's
evil.
It's a campaign.
Yeah.
Because these people, they're not unprofessional by nature. So when you see them talking about, and then all of a sudden they'll be talking on MSNBC, and you can see them contrive. They're about to contrive it, and that they're setting it all up, and you can see them flip into some, and XRP, that shit coin.
Exactly.
They don't even. It's that's somebody's told them, say this on air, say that on air,
or else.
And I'm not going to
Or make some
speculate
money.
You might get something in return. I don't know. I'm just guessing, right?
Of course, we all are.
We can have fun with that, but you can say without a shadow of a doubt, when you run back the tape, that it's a massive misinformation campaign on purpose, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Sue XRP. Tell everyone Ethereum's the god coin when it. Is this a family show? Because I feel like I literally got robbed and raped when I used MetaMask.
Tell me about it. There's people sending $100.
I hate to say something that might offend anyone
no,
who
it's fine.
do something like that, but it honestly feels like you've been robbed.
Yeah,
I'll just say that I've been robbed before, so it actually feels like
people are sending transactions of $100 and having to pay $200 in gas fees. How does that make sense?
If you want to, like, say you found some like gym or something, you want to swap on the decks for that, you got a feeling on this gym coin, you want to be Degen or something. You go to the decks and you try to flip for it. It's like, yeah, sure, you can do that, but you got to throw in another, 0.4 ETH.
Yeah. And I think another thing too is it really makes me laugh when Ethereum maxis talk bad about XRP, because I genuinely don't think they see the bigger picture if they aren't, getting subsidized on the back end. Because you got to think, like, the amount of liquidity that XRP is going to unlock when, eventually it starts getting picked up by these giant institutions. You have all of this money locked up in Nostro Vostro accounts and all this money locked up in already existing transactions happening that are taking like a week to transfer using Swift. It's a mess. Yeah, so you try doing that using Ethereum? Good luck, I guess.
I know, it's just and they'll just look, I love, look what Ethereum brought to the table, but let's just be completely honest, man. They're just in a echo chamber, because let's just try to send $500 million worth of Ethereum across the world, and you try to send the same amount of XRP. Let's see who gets there first. But let's also check out the gas fees. Well, could you imagine the gas fees? That would break an entire nation's budget.
That's a whole GDP.
It really just depends on it really just depends. Like right now, like, to be honest with you, Ethereum's gas fees are very, very low. It's about $1 or something to trade. But obviously with that large amount of capital.
Wait. Right now, I could go and use my MetaMask wallet, maybe go buy something, flip something on a DEX, and you're telling me that the maximum pain that I'll see is $1?
Yeah,
Tate and I used it last night. No,
it's
seriously.
Because there's no liquidity going into Ethereum right now. The transactions are like on a very low spot because of how low the market is right now. And that's why.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Okay. So when the market is more active, it just goes way up.
Yes. The way goes insane up, and then that charges.
So basically, they have to be the market for Ethereum has to be bad to have good transaction fees.
It's almost like Solana's uptime. So, like, for instance, Solana will go down when it has a ton of load behind it, and you got to wait for the TPS to get back up off the floor in order to do a transaction.
Yeah.
So, but with Ethereum, you basically just pay more instead of it being down.
Yeah, and so I'm seeing projects still launch on Solana that are kind of like looking kind of big, like, and I'm starting to see like maybe like some people looking at film stuff, and I saw a project that looked pretty interesting the other day. It looks like they did call themselves the Mob, so hopefully they didn't steal that from us. But that's why, dude, I might have to come on this show to start doing some of Charles's art reveals, because I know the second that I drop a PFP of his, because all of his attributes are going to be completely never before seen, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can look at these PFP collections, and those glasses, they look pretty similar to those other glasses, and that beard looks similar. This is going to be like different. Like, so we already got jacked. We got a few attributes jacked already because fucking Charles drew these badass Tron glasses that no one's seen. And so I don't know what we're going to do. I guess we're just going to give it to him. But we got to send the previews out. But yeah, Solana, I saw some whenever I see a big project that's getting popular, like, and they're like not just big like popularity, but they look like they're going to drop big files. I just get scared as shit for them. Like,
yeah,
how are you going to make that?
Of course.
And it's going to break Magic Eden if you do, and that
comes with just trial and error. I mean, people just have to realize what they're getting their hands into.
Yeah.
And
But like you guys said, people have really cordoned themselves off as maxis. I mean, I'm not even a maxi. I mean, when it comes to which blockchain I'm gonna create on, okay, if you want to call me a maxi, then sure. But I mean, I got tons of Solana NFTs. I don't have a lot of Ethereum NFTs. I don't like getting robbed. I mean, look, maybe I caught it on the wrong day every single time, but no, man, it was like...
It's been like that for months when Ethereum was pretty expensive. Like, it would be like that for months and months and months, and usually you have to wait to do transactions till like 2 a.m. when only Asia was awake because the,
I didn't even know
the gas fees were so bad.
That's the hustle, huh?
Yeah, you got to find the right timing.
Yeah, it's got to watch the gas prices. Bad.
But to close this off, Jeremy, if there's anything else you'd like to add to just provide to the community about AstralsOnX.
Wait, can I ask one more thing?
By all means.
Yeah.
Okay, so your last name is Reynolds, right?
That's it.
Do you have any relation to the Ryan flavored Reynolds?
Yes, no.
I had to ask. You don't hear Reynolds too often.
Yeah, you don't got too many Reynolds. I am not family to him, and I'm not an heir to the Reynolds tobacco empire, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to make our own way up the ladder.
Yeah,
but
that's with AstralsOnX.
No, I'm actually half British. My father's British, and my mother's American. That's about the only thing there that you guys may not have gotten. But,
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. No worries, man.
We appreciate you coming on today. It's been a pleasure, and we've learned so much. And our community will be very excited to hear all of this great information.
Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait to check out the episode and share it with our community. And hopefully we can maybe get together on some more of these talk more about the project as we release like new updates or new project points or whatnot. But at the end of the day, we just welcome. We want to put a warm welcome out to all the people on the XRPL, other people from any other blockchain.
Yep.
Want to invite you to come check our project out. We're a project that has a large vision for the future of NFTs in general, but how we're going to integrate those NFTs and that technology with the music and the entertainment industries is going to be something that we feel like we're going to be out on the forefront of, and we're going to stay out there as long as we can. We know that eventually a lot of players will jump into the space doing what we're doing, but we're not tribal at all in that way. We feel like that's only going to speed up what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So we look forward to seeing everything that comes after us, before us, during the same time. And really just meeting all of the XRPL Degens out there, investors.
Well, you just met two.
Correct.
Yeah. And just can't wait for you guys to come and check out our project. We have a white paper. You can also listen to our white paper on medium.com. There's an article there.
Nice.
But I just love that AI voice just reads it. And it's pretty cool. Next time I do the Medium article, though, I'll split it. I'll do spaces between Astrals space on space X, because the AI, that's the only part that sounds weird every time. It's like
AstralsOnX.
It's like AstralsOnX or something like that.
That's
great. I appreciate you guys bringing us on, bringing me on, and bringing us on. And we look forward to linking back up and sharing with you guys all the updates to our project.
Lovely.
Definitely. I can't wait to check out that pilot episode.
Yeah, guys. After we hang up, let's get in here and chat, and I'll send you a link to where we can go check that out.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Alt Kings podcast, and we will see you next episode.
Yeah. Ooh, almost knocked it over.